In the heart of Rome, behind the walls of the world's smallest country, lies a scientific institution few outsiders know exists. The Vatican Observatory, run by Jesuit priests and brothers, has been quietly studying the stars for centuries. It is one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world. But behind its telescopes and scholarly papers, some whisper of mysteries the Church does not speak about openly. The story begins in the late 1500s, when Pope Gregory XIII, famous for reforming the calendar, ordered Jesuit scholars to begin serious astronomical observations. While this may sound like a simple scientific mission, others believed it was also an attempt to track strange phenomena. Lights in the sky, celestial patterns, even comets seen as signs from heaven or warnings of doom. In the archives of the Vatican Library, there are centuries-old star charts, many of which contain odd symbols and notes written in Latin, Greek, and sometimes languages no one can fully identify. Some charts map not only known constellations, but also patterns that don't match anything visible today. A few pages even mention moving stars that change their paths overnight, long before modern telescopes or satellites existed. Brother Matteo, a Jesuit astronomer in the early 20th century, left behind diaries filled with strange observations. He recorded an event in 1923, a cluster of stars that appeared in the constellation Virgo and pulsed with an unusual rhythm. Several astronomers confirmed the sighting, but after a few nights, the lights disappeared. Vatican officials sealed Matteo's journals soon after, claiming they contained speculative theology. The diaries vanished for decades, until a curious young scientist named Luca found them again in 1999. Luca had joined the Vatican Observatory as a postdoctoral researcher. He wasn't a priest, just a gifted astronomer with a passion for deep space. One afternoon, while helping to digitize old documents, he discovered a small, leather-bound book hidden in a drawer. Inside were Matteo's notes, sketches of constellations with unfamiliar symbols, and a final entry. "They are watching. We must not open the gate." Luca was puzzled. What gate? Who were they? Over the next few months, Luca started looking deeper into the observatory's oldest files. He found more odd references, anomalous readings from 1984, unexplained magnetic interference in telescope recordings, even a mysterious object that passed near the Earth in 1977 and was never seen again. This object had no official name, but Vatican records called it Speculum Caeli, mirror of heaven. Luca began to suspect there was a hidden project, something known only to a select few within the Church. He requested access to the older section of the archives, where restricted theological documents were kept. After weeks of waiting, he was granted 1 hour under supervision. What he read left him speechless. There was a typewritten report dated 1952, authored by a Jesuit named Father Vanni. The report described a bright object observed above the Arizona desert. The Vatican Observatory, which has a second location at Mount Graham in Arizona, had picked up strong signals from the object, signals that repeated like coded messages. One part of the report mentioned a strange triangular formation that hovered silently for hours before vanishing into the atmosphere. Father Vanni concluded the event had spiritual implications beyond current understanding. Luca's interest became obsession. He began questioning senior priests, asking why the Vatican needed an observatory in the desert far from Rome. One night, an elderly brother warned him, "You're not the first to ask these questions, but some truths are not given to us, they are guarded." Rumors within the observatory staff mentioned a sealed room beneath the main library. No windows, only one door, always locked. Some said it held fragments of ancient telescopes, possibly Egyptian or Babylonian, which the church recovered long ago. Others believed it stored star maps that predate Christianity itself. Then came the night when Luca disappeared. He had told a colleague he was going to study an unusual light in the sky, something he believed was related to the mirror of heaven, but the next morning he was gone. His room was empty. No note, no laptop, no sign of a struggle. The observatory issued a short statement. Luca has left for personal reasons. His family never heard from him again. Months later, a new assistant named Elena took Luca's place. She had heard whispers about him, but was told not to ask questions. One evening, while adjusting an old telescope, she noticed something scratched faintly on the metal frame. In Latin, it read, "They are still watching."
Enjoyed the story? Support the channel. Buy me a coffee.